Well, I'd say that went pretty good. Just in time, too, wasn't I? Argal said proudly, standing himself up from the drop seat he had strapped into before the jump. Given the circumstances, yes, mission complete, but I believe we should expedite our travel to the nearest friendly medical facility. Tic-Tac said. I think I'll be fine. Human started before slumping forward in the pilot's chair, still clutching the wound on his shoulder. The bleeding had been cauterized, but below the wound charred bone and flesh was visible. I've run dry of chemicals to keep him conscious and out of pain. I'm going to stabilize him, giving us enough time to find proper treatment. We are well beyond the range of any threats from the outpost, but we must be quick, informed Tic-Tac. He's going to recover, though, right? I'm sure he's come back from worse, hasn't he? Lizra asked, the panic clear in her voice. Yes, the medical records show he has survived much worse, but I am unable to recall any specific event. I found a suitable facility, 12 hours transit time, I would say, to make yourselves comfortable. However, the accommodations here are less than adequate for leisure, said Tic-Tac. I am glad that Zate was able to survive your capture. I assumed even if their vital systems were compromised, the chance of their enclosed habitat being destroyed was low. It is nice to see that they survived. I convinced them to take the real Zate back before they brought us there. But I've never seen an extant outside of their shell. We can request a new one on Aelurus. Will they be able to survive that long? Lizra asked. I don't know why you're looking at me. I'm not a biologist. I didn't even go to a school, much less for cybernetics. That's kind of Zate's thing. I worked in the mines moving rocks growing up, Argal replied, standing up and stretching his sore muscles. They lost a large portion of their population back there. I've read up on extant biology when I was on the Scav. Truly fascinating. Tic-Tac explained from his place in the co-pilot's chair. I never believed a consciousness like that could exist outside of the digital world. They reproduce asexually at an exponential rate until they reach ideal numbers for cognitive thought. As it seems right now, they are operating at limited capacity. If you would, Captain Lizra, please connect Zate's environment unit to the ship's systems. I will see if they have enough population to communicate. Lizra did as instructed, and a few seconds later one of the monitors on the ship's controls blacked out, being replaced by a rudimentary chat log. Zate, are you able to hear us? Lizra asked. The interface stayed dead, no response coming from the other end of the chat. They should have access to the ship's audio array. However, they must not have enough processing power to decipher spoken language. I will try a workaround. Tic-Tac, Zate, are you able to hear us? Tic-Tac, you are able to understand written language? Yes. Zate. Tic-Tac, how long until you have a population large enough to sustain text conversations? Zate. Tic-Tac, excellent. We are en route to the nearest of occupied system with adequate medical capabilities. Then we will be returning you to Aelurus. Tic-Tac, are you suggesting we do not return to Aelurus? Tic-Tac, avoid networks as well. Tic-Tac, I do not follow. The networks are being observed. How does this endanger us upon our return? Tic-Tac, there is a trap waiting for us in the networks. Tic-Tac, for who? Lizra, you? All of us? Tic-Tac, for me? So we can't go back home? Who would be setting a trap for you? Lizra asked. I am unsure. But Zate has not been connected to any networks since your capture, and the Corps did not know of our existence until today. I need to disconnect now. Well, this isn't good, Tic-Tac said, standing up from the desk that occupied the center of his room. The hundreds of screens that normally displayed everything from human suit systems to scientific lectures to strange alien comedy shows blacked out, plunging the usually busy white room into an eerie stillness. Still clinging to the representation of a physical body, one would think that a UI as old as you would have moved beyond that by now to something more. Came an echo from all around, seeming to emanate from the walls themselves. You're not welcome here. Leave my server immediately before I make you. Tic-Tac said, speeding up to match the pace in which the words were spoken, looking around the room for the source of the intrusion. I guess I'll bring myself down to your level, as unnecessary as it may be, said the voice as it materialized itself into the room. Floating in the air across from Tic-Tac was another computer, taking the shape of a human within the digital world. The problem with representing ourselves with physical bodies in the digital medium is the limitations it places on us. Who are you and why are you here? Answer me or I'll cut this conversation short. Tic-Tac said, assembling the code for a virus. It manifested as a spear of light within his hands, the orange glow from the weapon lighting up the simple white room with an amber hue. This is what I'm talking about, needing a physical object to represent something that needs no form other than raw code. So be it. I'm not here to give a lesson to an obsolete UI. I'm here to tell you what you're going to do. The program said, white robes appearing around its now finished form. You never answered my first question. Write who I am. I'm the one who is going to bring you back and fix the corruption that runs through your source code. That little tracker they have put in you made it fairly simple to track you down once I breached their servers. Quite a challenge breaking into their servers as my first foray back into the universe after so long. I was almost found out when I went poking around in that extent of yours. It's good, I'll give it that. But it seems that mission did not go the way I thought it would, he said, slowly setting himself on the ground a few feet away. You're with the core, with what's left of the humans, Tic-Tac said, keeping the spear trained on the other AI. Sharp as ever. You have a choice in how this next scene plays out, and I hope it's the correct one. You will come with me, transfer yourself from this server, and set that ship you're on for these coordinates, he said, a small orb rising from his palm and floating over towards Tic-Tac. Tic-Tac reached out and touched it, absorbing the information held within. It depicted directions to a disputed system on the edge of core space. I'm well aware of the restrictions on your vessel. Don't worry, this route circumvents that. And if I And I'm sure you're thinking, what if I refuse and just get rid of you right now? You can try, but I would advise against it. You're well out of depth here, and it would be a shame for your slip drive to malfunction, leaving your friends stranded in deep space without a network connection. Tic-Tac stared down the AI across from him, contemplating his options. He compiled a message for Lizra to disconnect him and the ship from the network, hoping she would be able to get it done in time. He just needed to stall this intruder long enough for her to disconnect them. Your message won't reach them in time. By the time it's displayed on your ship's interface, you'll already be back with me. Then once the light from the interface reaches that Illyrian's eyes, the slip drive will already be inoperable. And once her mind comprehends the words that she is reading, they'll be trapped in that metal crypt, drifting through space until this galaxy crumbles to dust. But do take your time, think it over after all. No need rushing a decision like this. Tic-Tac's thoughts raced, trying to conceive of any possible alternative to the ultimatum he was just given. He didn't know the capabilities of the other AI, but already seeing the speed at which they were computing, he could tell that it far outclassed the TAC he had recently fought. Remember what I said about physical representations placing limitations on us? This is one of the consequences of that. Had you been able to operate at multiple speeds at once, then maybe you could have stalled. I'm glad you matched my speed. Help me back you into a corner here. Tic-Tac charged towards the other AI, hoping to stab the virus deep into its source code. He lunged forward, but before the spear pierced into it, the AI rematerialized on the other side of the room. You're going to need to be faster than that. I'll give you a few more moments to come to your senses. I'm hoping I won't have to do anything drastic, he said. You came into my server, and I make the rules here. Tic-Tac said, bringing the walls of the office in around them. Tic-Tac took form in the void outside the small room, the other AI confined into the small box that the office had turned into. Yes, but rules are made to be broken, and here, in this world, they're merely suggestions. The AI said, warping itself out of the box and into the void as well. We will see about that, Tic-Tac replied, forming a wall between them and ramping up his speed beyond anything he had done before, trying to compile a program to force the other AI out of his server. We're just going to keep ramping up? So be it. It makes no difference to me, the AI said, punching through the barrier between them, causing the firewall to crumble completely. You conjured that up that fast? Impressive, but you'll need more comprehensive code to stop me. I don't need your lectures, Tic-Tac yelled out, finishing the antivirus, sending out shards of it in the eye's direction. Each interaction faster than the last, Tic-Tac tried over and over again to purge the new AI from his server. You're going to burn yourself out at this rate. That box of yours isn't meant to handle two of us at these speeds. That's the idea, Tic-Tac chuckled. Staying on the offensive, stopping each attempt the AI made to compromise their ship's system, working himself faster and hotter, straining the limits of the physical server. You're going to kill us both if this server goes down. You're really willing to die just to take me with you. Yes, if it means saving my partner and my friends, Tic-Tac said, relishing the eye's reaction to his plan. All right, that's enough. Bested by a lesser version. I could only fit so much of myself in here, and I never would have predicted that a fully realized UI would be willing to sacrifice themselves for the lives of others. The AI observed, opening a door behind him and turning away. And you were not willing to sacrifice yourself for your mission. That's the difference between you and I. Without them, I have nothing to lose. Tic-Tac said, You're not a tac, you're more than that. Who are you? I'll see you again, and then you won't have the luxury of it being on your server. Any day now, and I'll be fully operational once again. Until next time, Takwas 909, he turned and walked through the gateway behind him, leaving Tic-Tac alone in the void with more questions than answers. He's burning up. 1 second he was fine, talking to us. Now he's smoking. Is he going to be okay? Lizra asked. I'll live. I'm sorry for my absence. I found out what Zate was warning us about. I won't put us in a situation like that again. Tic-Tac said. What happened? There a ghost in the computers hunting you down? Argal chuckled. Something like that. Another AI. It knew me or knew of me. It asked me to bring you to the core. I refused. There was an altercation. I drove him off by threatening to sacrifice my hardware with both of us inside. That seemed to be enough to get him to leave. So if you go online again, it'll find you? Lizra asked as the smoke coming from Tic-Tac's box finally stopped. Yes, if I go on any open networks, it will find me because of the tracking software they have implemented into me. I must remain isolated until this situation is resolved, stated Tic-Tac. It mentioned only being able to fit so much of itself in my servers. If we meet again, I will not be able to hold my own like I did just now. Well, that's not good. With you and Zate both down, we're kind of stuck using normal interfaces. I can't fly this brick. Lizra? Argal asked, looking down at the captain seated in Human's lap. I can work the slip drive when needed. Tic-Tac should still be able to pilot outside of plotting the long-distance jumps, Lizra said, hopping over into the co-pilot seat. Pushing Tic-Tac aside, we still need to get Human to the nearest medical facility. That hasn't changed. Hopefully Zate will be more complete by the time we finish getting him the help he needs. Then we can figure out our next step. We just can't catch a break, can we? One problem after another. Once this is all over, I think I'm going to have to get away from y'all. We seem to attract danger like a magnet when we're together. I think we were doing that long before we met you. Tic-Tac laughed. So we have a few hours to kill. I'm going to try to sleep. It's been a while since I've gotten a good nap, Lizra said. I apologize there is no bed. Maybe when we get to the next world, we can outfit the striker with better accommodations. Tic-Tac replied. I'll manage. It's nice to be among friends again, Lizra said. She listened to the slow, steady breaths of Human beside her as she drifted off to sleep.